What's up, guys? Listen, bringing you new information on what's going on with the Matthew Perry case. This is officially case. For all the naysayers out there, it is now being investigated by the homicide department because there are too many things that aren't adding up. You guys, we're going to talk about exactly why they have taken over the case. We're also going to talk about this autopsy that people are acting like it's normal for the 4 to 6 months. However, everybody's skirting over the fact of what happened to the drowning? What happened to this? What's happened to that? We're going to take you through step by step the way autopsies normally happen and what can be found. And we're also going to talk about this disturbing Instagram post that he had up and why it literally spurned the homicide department to get involved. Are you guys ready for this? Let's go. Let's start off with the first thing. All right. Matthew Perry tested negative for fentanyl and F, right? For 2 illicit substances. They're saying that his death was not a fentanyl or any type of overdose. At least that's what the initial tests indicate. Now, I know a lot of like Matlocks and know-it-alls want to be like, oh my God, that's just standard with autopsies. But no. Some people have been watching too many CSIs. See, here's the thing about why the homicide got involved and why they're trying to actually figure out what the cause of death was. There was no water log, right? With the draining, right? There was no water log. There was no water in his lungs. There was no water log. It is actually impossible for that to be the cause of his passing. Okay? That's the first thing. But when you do an autopsy, I know a lot of people like to say he died from a heart attack, right? But he actually started from 1 second. Sorry. They're saying that, let me just get back to the point. They're saying that it was a heart attack. It was cardiac arrest. If anybody has any experience reading autopsies, I just want to say this. Everything in this world that ends with a human being passing ends in a cardiac arrest. You guys know that, right? And listen, let me just be frank. Everything ends in a cardiac arrest because when your heart stops pumping for whatever reason, you can't go anymore. Even when people are at the end of their days and they want to take, like, they have a machine making their lungs go in and out and they pull the plug, the cause of death, right? Be whatever. But at the end of the day, it was a cardiac arrest. A cardiac arrest just means your heart stopped breathing. That is not the cause of death. It is a symptom. It is, do you see what I'm saying? I said that wrong. Yes, ultimately, your heart stopping breathing will make it all stop. But they're trying to find out what caused the heart to stop breathing. Do you see what I'm saying? It wasn't a heart attack. When they say that they are waiting for toxicology reports to come back in 4 to 6 months, that's usually how long it takes. He is high profile, so I'm guessing they're going to come back in 2 to 3 months. Okay? A heart attack, for whatever reason, okay, can be found on an autopsy very quickly. An overdose, for whatever reason, can be found out in an autopsy very, very quickly. Now, they might have to do more digging to find out exactly what substances caused it. They might have to do more digging to find out with the prescriptions met, are they at too high? Yes, definitely, because you need, but to actually say, yeah, it was an OD. You ever think about last time you've heard it was an OD, and then later on they tell exactly what substances were in the body. The fact that they didn't find that, the fact that people said that Matthew had been clean and in good spirits, the fact that he had just played pickleball 2 hours earlier, the fact that even though prescription meds, right, were in the area, but they're not saying whether they were painkillers. He suffered from COPD. It could have been something like that. Again, nobody really knows what the issue was, including the L.A.P.D. Now, why is this so weird? Because TMZ was, and maybe they were just doing it for headlines, I don't know, was very, very quick to rush in and say, oh, it was apparent draining, right? They were very quick to say that. Couldn't have been this, couldn't have been that. The coroner came out and said, it's inconclusive. We know it wasn't a dreaming, right? Yes, I'm speaking on YouTube code. If you don't like it, go email YouTube. I don't make the rules. It couldn't have been a dreaming. There was no water log. We found him in water, but there was no water in his lungs. Okay. Yes, there was a cardiac arrest, but that is because the heart stopped beating. That's all that means, right? We cannot determine what caused the heart to stop breathing. We know it couldn't have been water. We know that it does not appear to be an OD. We know that he's not alive. And we know that, and that's another thing I want to know in autopsies. When people perform an autopsy, there are a list of known substances, known prescription drugs, known whatever. It's very easy once you know what you're looking for to run the test. Does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have this? It's either yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. When you run a more in-depth autopsy, that's when you have to actually dive and start really going through the pathways of the bodies. You start looking for substances that are not very, very common, but it might be. For instance, if somebody is slowly poisoned to death with arsenic, right? You have to do an ultra, and it takes time to come back because it's almost like you don't know what you're looking for. So you're looking for everything. And while you're looking for everything, you're also looking for like, what could have caused this? The fact that it came back inconclusive is a big red flag. Okay. Law enforcement has already told investigators, right? A less in-depth test on Perry, which revealed he did not have a multiple illicit substance in the system. However, it's important to note that in-depth tests are still being conducted as for toxicology to analyze whether any other illegal things were present in his blood. So it lets you know that all those prescription bottles they swear were around, none of them were in his body, or at the very least, they're not seeing anything high enough to actually cause whatever they see happening. They are going to do a more and to see if the levels of any, right, of the meds were at harmful doses. But the thing is, on the initial test, they haven't even found that. Anyway, the results will take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Doubtful. TMZ, again, I just have to say this. If it comes back, whatever it is, they should 100% be held accountable for creating this narrative that everybody thinks there's something untoward, because they were the ones that said it was an apparent draining. And then the autopsy came back and said he didn't even have water in his lungs. It couldn't have been. It wasn't a heart attack. It might have been cardiac arrest, but again, everything, whether you dream, whether a cardiac arrest is your heart stops beating. They need to find out why that happened. They're saying, listen, they're saying that prescription drugs were found for his various ailments. Okay. And LAPD's robbery homicide division is continuing to they're continuing to investigate. Now, like TMZ said, the robbery homicide division's involvement initially had people scratching their heads, especially as there's currently no evidence of foul play. Again, TMZ needs to stop being so they keep trying to say no because they want to be right because their first reporting was way off of the mark. Okay. We do have to say this. Matthew Perry said, and his friends have told us, that at that time, Matthew was in fact sober and he'd never been happier. Now, people are saying that he was writing a book. There have been reports that 336 pages of the book are missing. He was going to expose Hollywood. I can't confirm or deny that. I'm waiting for like his family or somebody to actually make a statement, but I think that they're all waiting to see what happens after this. It's important to note, right? that as much as TMZ wants to gloss over everything, right? They said the robbery homicide division is looking to make sure there's nothing nefarious involved in Matthew's death. So TMZ are the people saying, oh my God, like, no, they don't suspect any wrongdoing, but robbery homicide is saying out of their own mouth that we are opening a case to make sure that there's no wrongdoing. Because right now, we cannot ascertain a cause of death from the preliminary autopsy. And especially when you were found in a hot tub and we should have been able to find out something. Even if it was an OD, you could still tell it was an OD. They would just have to do toxicology to see exactly what substances caused it. If you get my drift, okay? Anyway, right? They're investigating to make sure nothing nefarious is involved in Matthew's passing, and it's normal for the RHD to take the lead on high-profile cases because RHD has experience and manpower necessary, especially high-profile cases where preliminary autopsies come back inconclusive. Again, you don't need to know that somebody has illicit substances in their system for the body and an autopsy to be able to register what an OD looks like in the body. Okay, there's the cause and there's the effect. The effects can be it can be easily found. The fact that it's going to take that long lets us know that they are looking for something that doesn't tick any of the obvious boxes. Listen, okay. So what else can we do, right? They're saying that they did not find any illicit substances. Yeah, they are also saying that that the official cause will be determined by the autopsy results. Again, they need a second autopsy. And if there's something nefarious that comes back, RHD will take the reins. However, they are investigating now because in cases like this, and this is how, again, it's the last time I'm going to stress this, how I just don't think people realize how highly unusual it is for a preliminary autopsy to happen or someone found in water and there'll be no water, substances, they can't find anything, doesn't seem to be an OD from like the way the body pathways look. It is so weird for this to happen that RHD is actually getting involved because they need to start gathering evidence. The last thing they want to do is just be like, no, it looks like everything's okay. And then the autopsy come back with something nefarious. And they realize that they literally messed up because they didn't start collecting evidence. Again, we don't want to start theories, but you guys, something is amiss. Something is amok. Listen, you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think there. TMZ did note that LAPD's RHD has investigated some of the most famous cases in the city, including the Michael Jackson death, which was ultimately ruled a homicide. Now, they're not saying that's the case here, but it will be interesting to see where the investigation into Matthew's actual death leads. You guys, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm putting together, you know what? I'm going to go live tomorrow because there's some more evidence I want to share with you guys. And, I've just been scouring the web, accumulating a lot. And if we go live tomorrow, I think it'd be nice to actually talk about it because, again, things aren't adding up. And now that robbery homicide division is actually involved, yeah. Let's see where this goes. You guys, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye.